Yo, what it is, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in here to another episode here on the Speedbuck channel. Today, we got the GSXR 600 here on the channel. Now, in a couple other videos you saw, some of y'all may have been confused. I'm like, hey, that's the bike we already saw before. Well, that's not the case because there's my bike over there. That bike is mine. This one here is my girlfriend's bike, and she got a GSXR 600. But today, we are going to do a little bit of maintenance on it. So we got some standard 1040 and we got ourselves a nice little oil filter here. So I already did a quick chain adjustment. I didn't film that, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but it's pretty straightforward. Just like on any other Suzuki, you have your axle nut and your two alignment bolts that come out of the rear of the swing arm, and of course you tighten it to specifications, and you just turn the wheel while we got it up. But we're gonna go ahead and do a quick oil change. A little background on this bike. We got this bike for a steal and significantly off MSRP. I gotta give a good shout out to my buddy Dell up at Broward Motorsports. He's the one that hooked us up here with this deal. And it was a deal we couldn't pass up. Plus, you know, it got her off the ground and she can now ride, of course, like on the highway faster than 65 miles an hour. So other than that, moving forward, we're just going to do a quick little time-lapse, quick little oil change. It's pretty straightforward. Anyone that works on bikes or doesn't know anything, of course, you just take the one of the fairings off here. The oil filter is behind the headers that you can kind of see through here. Of course, I'll give you guys another shot once it comes all the way out. Let's see if we can see it in there. And there it is, sticking out right there. And we'll get this oil drained out. Now she's ridden it a few amount of miles. It's got about 1,150 miles or so on it. So dump the oil out, you know, and put some good stuff in it. Then we'll be good for 3,000-4,000 miles, and we can go racing and have some fun. So let's wrap this up and let's get this going. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this taken out, we got the oil drainage just coming down. Look at that stock exhaust. You know that ain't gonna probably last too long up in this garage. Here's the oil filter. We just got to twist that off with a oil filter wrench. And I'll come around to the other side so you can see it. Very accessible drain plug. And pretty straightforward. Oil obviously isn't too dirty, but it ain't clean. But of course, you know, good practice. You have break-in oil. You got those metal shavings and such, and we'll get those all out. So pretty straightforward. 600, lots of room in this chassis, lots of room to work with. Everything's very straightforward, very easy to access. And even the stock header design, it's pretty cool. But yeah, we'll get this drained up and get her filled up, put a new oil filter on, and call her a day. And we're still dripping, folks. And all the way in there, you can see it. Just, of course, good tech tip. Make sure you wipe off your oil filter housing. Make sure your O-ring isn't still on there. And then we'll go ahead and put the drain plug back in, fill her up with oil, give her a little start. Keep an eye, of course, on your low and fill lines here. Of course, pay attention to the lines, exactly where everything's supposed to be filled. Now, this bike, the stand itself is level, but the bike is tipped a little bit forward, so as it comes down it will even out a little bit. So I will overfill it a little bit because I know I've done this about 50 times on this stand, and then when it evens out it'll be just fine. But of course, always check your bike, have someone get, you know, tip it and level it straight, and then go look at the eye, and you'll be pretty much good. Start the bike, let it run a little bit, and let it drain back from the tops of the cylinder head down the piston walls and everything like that, and you'll be all right. So let's get this thing buttoned back up. Pretty straightforward. And another tech tip, guys, putting your oil filters on. You don't have to use a wrench to crank on the oil filter, as I had to use one to get it off. You put it on there, you spin it until it stops spinning, and then give it about a quarter or to a half a turn. that seal with the heat, you know, the engine block's gonna be 180, 200 degrees. That will automatically seal itself with the heat. You don't need to crank it down. You don't need to crank it on with a wrench or anything like that. Hand tight until it stops, and then give it about a half a turn or so, and it'd be more than good. Let's get this puppy buttoned back up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got her all filled back up. Eye level, perfect. I just started it, had it running. We'll drain this into my big bucket of drain. We'll put this fairing on and wrap it up, and the bike is ready to be good and ready to be riding. So after that, this thing needs a bath is what it needs, but that'll about do it. So let's get this video wrapped up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are all buttoned up, ready to go. Fairings back on. Everything is good to go. So, oil change real quick here on the Ducati, getting ahead of myself. Real quick oil change on the GSXR 600, and it's pretty straightforward. So I think that's gonna wrap it up here for today's video. Again, y'all, if y'all liked what you saw, again, don't forget to subscribe. Hope this video was informative, and we will check you here for another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Deuces.